Hi everyone, I'm on a mission to become an idea machine and I'm challenging myself to come up with 10 ideas every day. I'm curious to see how you might come up with ideas. Here's how I do it so far. My aim is to build a strong idea muscle through working it out every day that I will find an idea that I'll be confident enough to bring me to the fast lane. How do you come up with ideas? You should read J. Altucher's article again. Everything is there already. Yep, a few of the methods from what I posted is from that article, plus a few more from different people. I'm just curious to see how other people might also generate ideas. Don't want to limit myself to one way of thinking. It would be great if you share those articles with others as well. 3 things that have helped me, not articles. Be curious. Never take anything at face value. Ask lots of questions. Never be afraid to ask dumb questions. Always ask yourself, what else could I use this for? When you have free time, pop in specialist stores you've never frequented before and look at all the weird and wonderful things they sell. Prime your talked about this at the summit. Maybe he'd pitch in? Since your focus in doing is to one day use an idea to get you to the fast lane. The only thing you are missing is, once you find an idea, sticking to it to make it a winner. You're going to have to be a domain authority to increase your odds of that. What good is an idea that once you jump into it, you don't know the market well and you rely on others to validate it for you, which could lead you down the wrong path? Because of that, you need to look at also, 1. What do you know more about, that the layperson does not? 2. What itch of your own can you scratch? Add that to your mix to start narrowing down your ideas, or adding a layer to them. I'm not saying you have to do these things in order to be successful with an idea. Plenty of people have banged through an idea without them and been successful. I am just trying to show you a path that could be a bit easier for you in the long run, that can increase your chances of fulfilling the idea. All of these suggestions are great. I read. It's done almost like a children's book with a focus on copywriting, but it's applicable to everything you put your mind to. It's a quick read and you'll finish it in a day. Study brainstorming. Go outside with a pen and piece of paper. Interview 100 random people on the street, asking them what types of problems they have with products or services that they use. Also, ideas don't really matter. I've personally given away a ton of free ideas on this forum and not a single person has executed on them. You can make $1 million selling socks, or pencils. Some even make millions selling pet rocks. It's not the idea, but the execution. The challenge here is, how do I stop all these ideas from filling my head and distracting me from what I should be doing? If we lived to be 1,000 and seamlessly executed every idea back to back, we still wouldn't be finished by the time we died. Reading. By doing what I mention here, and here, that should narrow things down a bit. Thanks for that. Could you confirm that I understand correctly? Sorry, the quotes are out of order. What you mean by domain expert is knowing more about what I'm doing than who I'm selling to, and sell the solution to my own problem? Apologies for this word. I know we like the V word around here. I was going to be silly and say, okay, I am looking around my desk and there is a lamp and a pair of scissors therefore. And then I thought I would Google scissors you can use in the dark, and hey presto, there are no prices, so perhaps they have been discontinued as no real market, but someone gave it a good bash. Dan. Well, ideas are not all that great. Personally, I don't have a method. I just observe and pay attention to what people do and say. Once you start execution, ideas will come, not only random ones but ideas related to what you are executing. Seriously, ideas are like rough diamonds. Sure, they have some value, but until you cut them, polish them and sell them, they are basically rocks like any other rock. I assume you are talking about business ideas to embark on. Ideas are plenty, the hard part is how to choose and base on what. If you spent weeks looking around, reading and considering 3 to 4 promising business ideas and eventually settling on one, it will be a much better choice. I choose based on 1 my own existing skill and the skill of the team. If you have partners, 2 projected industry growth, 3 projected income ceiling. How much the roles models are already earning there. 4 is the business closer to money. Rapid and easy monetization paths are always morale and cash flow friendly and hence harder to fail. 5 is there a long-term solution to lack of control? I think framework control is the most important thing to plan and watch out for me personally, because I target projects that people are already making money in, and I try to do better leveraging on existing skill and learning along the way. So need, entry, scale and time factors are naturally present on those businesses. Currently, I am working with, which has a lot of exercises, 21 to be precise, to come up with new ideas. They are often quite challenging, but I think they have value to get your brain flowing. Correct, you understand it. I don't try to come up with ideas. I try to help people. Some will say I sound like a stuck record, but there's a reason I keep bringing this up. Challenge yourself to help 3 people each day instead of have 10 ideas a day. Why? Business is about adding value, and getting paid. Helping people equals adding value. Having ideas is not adding value. If I had to point you to one thing, it would be this: the amazing thing when you start helping people is that you'll eventually get better at helping people with similar problems. You'll specialize in helping people with those problems, and start becoming an authority as suggests. If you want to grow a business, then you'll help people or add value so that you get paid. As soon as you're getting paid, you're on your way. As you get more and more experience helping people using your skill set, then you'll get more than 10 ideas a day naturally, all related to helping those people more. I challenge you to get paid helping someone this week. If you can't get paid, then at least go help someone this week. I have been doing the 10 daily ideas of the Altucher regularly, and I can affirm that it serves as a brain exercise. Original Brian Tracy, 20 ideas to a specific problem or goal. Every so often a very good, applicable idea appears that generates an improvement in my life. Yesterday I found this book that I have not read yet, but that I understand by other posts here. The book is about physical product ideas. Should be enough solution for what you are looking for. Make them fluorescent. I love this. Challenge accepted. Also, I'd say, look for strong in yourself and in others. For example, frustration, which goes hand in hand with a pain point. And a pain point masks a need. Once you uncover a need, you need only remember one word: how. Once you carefully formulate a decent how question, your subconscious will start processing in the background. Then when you let go for a bit and take a nice shower and all, bam! An idea pops in. That how question after spotting a need should get that idea engine of yours running wild. Be reminded though, that the quality of your how question will directly determine the quality of your idea. So don't be lazy in the question phase. Use that empathy muscle. Works for me like this anyways. YMMV. Are you keeping an idea journal? Are you writing it all down? That really helps me. Here's what I do: I mentally run through the problem I'm working on just as I'm going to sleep. Then I assign my mind the job of coming up with a solution or a group of solutions. I keep a pad and pencil next to my bed to write down anything that comes up from that mental job. Sometimes it wakes me up during the middle of the night. Sometimes I wake up in the morning with a nonsensible answer. I write those down too because I find that they are many times a piece of the puzzle. I also write down any memorable dreams, whether they seem to relate or not. Anyway, that one way I do it. A little trick I like to use. Keep one of your browser tabs open at all time, and track the keyword #frustrated on Twitter. Greater than you'll see a ton of first world problems come up. A lot of them are petty. teenagers complaining about their cell phone plan or something. But some are real problems, and it'll help you get into the habit of looking for problems to solve. Something may just click one day. I'm rereading your post after a while. What have you done with the ideas you came up with day after day? Are you still coming up with 10 ideas every day? Have you started a new business? Have you invented a new product? Have you figured out how to make your bed every day and pick up after yourself? If so, I have some men in my life for you to share with. Have you changed your thinking about the world? Is this exercise an end unto itself? What are the trends in your idea log? Have you identified some progressive lines of thinking, where one idea leads to another? Has that caused any breakthrough ideas to come out? I don't try for your kind of volume of ideas. But, I am a great observer of the world around me. I like to marry 2 or more standalone ideas. My favorite definition of genius is the person who takes common elements and puts them together or uses them in unique ways. I want to be that person. Also, you can look at the if you want to automate this in some way. Nice idea. I tried it on Facebook and it worked a bit there too. Why? Isn't one idea enough? Do you want to be rich? Or do you want to be an artist? I have large notepad which is basically my idea notepad. I prefer having a large one as if I have an idea I start drawing it out and it really helps me to visualize it. I haven't come up with 10 ideas each day, but I am achieving it every other day and it's led me to start a new podcast which I'm recording first next week, and I have an idea that I'm starting to build out for a subscription business. Both these ideas stemmed from writing down ideas and getting the creative juices flowing. Marrying 2 standalone ideas can make you come up with some weird and wonderful stuff. I find that my creative ideas come in groups. They are threads that lead to new ideas and ways of thinking. Go back and study your lists. Look for trends and relationships. Sleep on it. Daydream. Give yourself the time and space for your mind to work through the possibilities. The process takes quiet contemplation. Just don't force the process. I love those aha moments when things finally come together. Thoughts for ideas come when you want to improve something or make it easier to use. Expand the consumption of a narrowly directed object and then it will be much easier to come up with an idea. Is it bad that reading this gave me a very plausible idea that I've been dealing with for the past 4 years, that I'm going to look at and very literally scratch? I have so many ideas, it's almost a burden. Because the choice becomes much harder. Ideas are a dime a dozen. It's execution that counts. When it comes to ideas where I think, wow, there's real value to be created, they come from consumer complaints. Ideas are all around you every day. The important thing you have to teach yourself is awareness. My best source of ideas was one of my ex-girlfriends. She was so often frustrated with the products she used and vented about it. All I had to do was listen. BTW. A lot of people think they aren't creative. But they are. When I taught business, I sent teams of 4 outside for an hour, and they had to come back with 20 business ideas. Impossible, they said. Oh, it is possible. But you have to kill your inner censor. We put 80 ideas on the blackboard and then voted for the best ones. Karl Barks once said, "What made me great was a big garbage bin." Same goes for ideas. Create a lot, and throw a lot of them away. Love this. What's your process for validation? I have really become aware that I am talking myself out of every idea I have. It's like I'm waiting for the one. I do have a current concept I'm working on which I am in the process of testing via surveys, landing pages etc., but I'm not even sure I know what result I'm looking for. There are studies that say that too many choices cause people not to focus on one idea or solution. There are books about how people do nothing rather than making a decision. You're human. Forgive yourself and cut your list down to only a few items. Then create a plan and a timeline to try out one of your ideas. There is no perfect idea, nor business, nor plan, nor the time to start. I've validated a number of businesses through pre-selling. That is, give yourself 48 hours to pre-sell 10 of whatever you want to sell. Then, hustle for the next 48 hours. Offer them a discounted price if they buy now. That's the incentive to pre-purchase. If you get 10 sales in 48 hours, then that is your green light to build out the business because you have a winner. If you get a few sales, maybe you didn't try hard enough, but just give the few buyers a 100% refund and head back to the drawing board to revamp it, hopefully based on prospect feedback, or simply toss the idea completely. If you get no sales, then the odds are that you also wouldn't have found any buyers after building out your businesses, so move on to the next idea. Pre-selling is done all the time. When you order from Amazon, you are paying before receiving the goods days later. When you pre-order a book, it's a pre-sale. When you buy an airline ticket for next year's vacation, it's a pre-sale. If the big dogs are doing it, we little validators can too. Google Noah Kagan beef jerky business. He did exactly what I'm saying, gave himself 24 hours to pre-sell $1,000 in beef jerky subscriptions to validate the idea. He goes into great detail explaining how he did it. Once he hit $1,000 in sales, he went ahead and found a supplier and built out the business. A simple tool you can use is a site called Gumroad. They let you build out a simple sales page that is already set up to accept credit card payments and deposits it into your bank account. You literally can build a site in less than 15 minutes depending on how good you are at sales copy, and start sharing the link to pre-sell or validate. I've validated t-shirts, group coaching, marketing services, and ebooks or manuals using Gumroad. They even have a free version where they only take 10% of your sales if, and that's a big if, you can get any sales at all. If you get no sales, then it's free. It's a perfect way to validate. Hope this helps. My problem is too many ideas. At every job that I worked and for every personal project, I have pages and pages and pages of ideas. For my most recent data science job, fortunately, I have had a colleague who is keeping track of my ideas and is actually figuring out which of them are worth executing on. I found this helps tremendously to get better ideas, when you can just think and talk and the other person will pick it up. But if you seriously need more ideas, the best approach I know is the 20-idea method. For example, if you want to know how to better market your product, just sit down and write 20 ideas, and do not stop until you have 20. Every single time I have tried it, by myself or in a group, it has produced at least a couple outstanding ideas. The most important part is separating judgment from ideation. That is, when you are coming up with 20 ideas or more, do not evaluate them for sanity. As soon as you start evaluating, this stops the process. Even if you want to do both ideation and evaluation by yourself, do it at separate times. Some of these are a little off. You are comparing building out a full business to products already existing and in stock, or a service already running. When I buy from Amazon, the product is in stock in their warehouse. I shop Prime. They aren't taking my money and then figuring out a way to design, produce, stock, and then ship the product to me. All those systems and the product already exists. Same with the airline. The destination already exists, the airports and planes exists, maint. Cruise and ticket sales process and reservation systems exists. I'm simply differing an existing system. The airlines aren't creating everything and buying the Boeing 737 or training pilots once I order. Your pre-order book is about the best example though. Of note, I was one of Noah's first buyers of that jerky product years ago. We hit each other up on LinkedIn about it. Honestly, I think he already had someone lined up because I got my jerky pretty damn fast after I paid for it. An imperfect world filled with imperfect humans is flush with opportunity. Someone who can't come up with ideas is complicating something that is relatively simple, especially when related to human nature. I'd also go into value skew, but I'm not going to rehash what is already in print. Thread marked notable, some good ideas, book recs, and videos. The comparison wasn't the point. The point was that pre-selling works. The haters I was referring to were the ones who were going to chime in and say pre-selling doesn't work. It does. I've done it a lot. So have many others. There is always some chump with a counter-argument. No one is going to give you money if you don't have a product already. They are always wrong. I just acted preemptively. Also, that's funny about the jerky. Interesting, too. But, it was an inspiring demo nonetheless. How do I get ideas? The problems we run into in our personal and business lives can be great sources of ideas. After I left college, I went backpacking around Eastern Europe. My first business idea was the result of a conversation I had at a bar with a fellow backpacker who had just spent a year working in a business in London. The conversation of the challenges the business faced proved to be a rich source of business ideas. Talk to people. My second business idea came as a result of reading about business strategy and the importance of niches and observation of consumer behavior patterns in the market. An understanding of business strategy is so important. Understanding how the big boys run their operations and try to deconstruct in your mind the nuts and bolts of their business. When you understand the dynamic in which other businesses operate, it gives you a much better feel for a particular market. Even more important is understanding the weaknesses of the big players in your market. They can't possibly service every niche in their market, but a smaller player like you often can. My third business idea came from a discussion I had with a totally unrelated business founder at a trade show. I was literally passing their stand and said to them, people wouldn't buy that, would they? It was the start of a great conversation and new business for me. Again, I cannot stress of the importance of talking to random people, even if they are not in your industry. They can be a great source of ideas. Also, when you talk to someone in the flesh, it makes their business way less abstract compared to reading about it on a website or magazine. You're also less likely to get a curated picture of their business which they gave to a reporter. How did this go in the end? I am stuck on day 13, because I am working on a new idea already. I would say it is an interesting workbook, that uses a lot of the techniques mentioned in this thread in a structured way. Lol, I love it. I think the most important word should be focus. You have decided on an idea. Focus on it till it is executed. There will always be problems to be solved. Finish one before moving to other. Just reading this, I know it's been a while since you've posted. Just curious on your progress and what experiences have you had with this?